Good day, everyone. Hope you're doing well. This is Tony again, and your captain for Citizenship and Residency by Investment Programs. Today, we're having our podcast, as you can see, in a very special place, a new place, in Portugal, mainly in Lisbon, in one of our associated firms that in Portugal. A very dear friend, a very closer friend, a very reputable lawyer. I don't want to talk much about it. I prefer for dear Roy to talk about it. Dear Roy, first of all, thanks for the hospitality. Thank you for welcoming myself and the investors that they came around across, and then we helped them for the golden visa. So many things that we will talk about it today, but I would love to hear, or I would love the audience to hear from you that who we are as a firm.
Okay, so first of all, thank you, Tony. It's a pleasure to receive you here at the office, and of course to help you and your clients to thrive a bit about the Golden Visa program. Thanks for coming and for giving us the opportunity of doing this with you, which is a huge pleasure to do. So we are a boutique family office in Lisbon, located right in the center of Lisbon. We are a team of 12 people. Devoted to relocation, family office services, and of course Golden Visa. Mm-hmm. Me as a lawyer, I'm a lawyer for 25 years. All the team is composed by lawyers or people with a degree in law. And the most important thing at all, it is the type of commitment that we have with our clients. We try to be as fast as we can. We try to be as responsive as we can, because the clients normally are outside Portugal.
Sure.
The ADN or the DNA of our firm, it can be considered the fast and effective response and the nurturing of the clients. This is the most important.
I would add that I'm the first time when we dealt together, I was a bit surprised with the response that we usually have. Most of the European countries, that if we send an inquiry or if we send a request, let's say, that we could take a feedback or response maybe next day, after 1 week, depends on the situation. But I'm really surprised, or I was surprised, now I'm not anymore, that the response come in the next minute. That was okay, that's what we're really looking for. Let's go directly to the main, let's say, topic of the podcast, especially since we are in Portugal and so many things, let's say, or so many updates that are really happening or going on in the Portuguese golden visa, or maybe the Portuguese citizenship, not the golden visa, if we can say.
That's true.
If we can say what is really going on, if we can just give the audience a little bit recent update, if we say.
Okay. So the most recent update on this is that the golden visa law was not changed, first of all.
That's something that it has to be addressed, and to put so many lines under it, that the golden visa law has not been changed.
Yeah, because people tend to make a confusion between golden visa and nationality, which are two different things, two different processes. Of course, when you apply for the golden visa, which technically has a name, authorization of residency through investment. Mm-hmm. So it's an RCBI program. It's not. Yes. It's an RBI program. It's not a CBI program.
Yes.
So what you are entitled to is to have a residence permit in Portugal that allows you to come, enter, and leave Portugal for the number of times that you want, without the need of living here, okay, and spending only 7 days per year and 14 days each period of 2 years after the first. What the minister came 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, was with a proposal of a change of the nationality law. Mm-hmm. And the nationality, it's something rather different than the golden visa, as I said. The nationality is something that you can attain if you have a certain period of residency in Portugal, which now, according to the law that is enforced, 3781, it's 5 years.
5 years.
But there is a trend in Europe, I think.
Yes.
All of the countries are changing this. So what I think that it's going to happen in the future, it's not only Portugal will change that date to 7 or 10 years, because we still don't know what is going to be really approved and defined. It can be 7 years, it can be 10. The question is, if you look to the other countries of the EU, all of them have this same time of period, either 10 years. Spanish guys that received the South Americans to the nationality, they are going to close that also.
Sure.
If you go to Greece, you have to spend there 10 years. In Portugal, the main difference is you don't need to be a tax resident, which is very important.
Yes.
You don't need to reside here to have the residence permit. Neither you need to have a residency for 1 year or two, at least now, to have the nationality. So you can apply for it. So technically what can happen, it's a change in a period to achieve the nationality, but not a change in the golden visa process. The golden visa process remains the same, with the same rules. And today, we are in July,
Yes.
mid-July. So there is no idea from the
15th
government.
15th of July.
Yeah,
to be exact.
15th of July to
Yeah.
be exact. Right in the middle of the month.
Yes.
So there is no idea from the minister to change the golden visa program or the residency through investment. So it will maintain with legal residence and not effective residency. And plus, it's going to be a bit different also in terms of nationality, but only for the nationality, not for the residency.
The golden visa. The moment that you mentioned that they need only 7 days, let's say, to stay, I was just thinking in the back of my mind that whoever come to Portugal and for the first time,
Yeah.
and especially that the people that I know, and after I advised them to come to Portugal, they said like they will not be smart in a way that if they don't spend a month or 2 months at least in during the summer. Yesterday, for example, I was just walking around in Lisbon around 9 o'clock in the evening. The temperature was 23 degrees or Celsius. I mean, like we are in July. We're even also during the day, during the noontime, and so on. So it is a piece of heaven, at least in my opinion. To be honest with you,
Thank you.
that whoever really applying for golden visa and if he stay only 7 days, I don't, like he has to stay more because it's really lovely place, safe, a cost-effective, inexpensive place compared to so many other European countries. But and by the way, Lisbon is my passion. So regardless of all of this matters, let's go with the academic way. Let's say into the golden visa. I believe that after reading your articles and after reading a few articles as well, and then what is really happening, let's say, with the government at the moment, I am hearing, and please either agree or disagree with
Okay.
me with it. They wanted to kind of differentiate, let's say, the route of having the citizenship between some certain groups where maybe it could be the refugees, could be the other residency programs compared to the immigration or the golden visa. Is this true? Can we see, or we will be seeing some changes, let's say, or differentiation between that?
Well,
It's a tricky question.
That's
How it should be.
That's a tricky question. Well, I'm going to tell you. As you know, in 2023, I was at the parliament discussing with the government the change for this new regulation
Yes.
that we have now. Unfortunately, I knew a lot of the deputies and so on, and I continued to talk with them. Okay, so I'm not going to reveal any privileged information because
course.
at this stage
We
there is
respect
no
that.
privileged
Absolutely. Of course.
information. What I can tell you is the following. I think that what we are trying to address here with the change of the nationality, it's a specific question. It's the immigration that is completely out of control.
Okay.
Okay, so the immigration that is completely out of control at this stage, it's the one that has entered until June last year, and that was possible to, just imagine this, it was possible for you to attain a residency in Portugal if you came as a tourist, but if you then all of a sudden found a job, start to make some discounts to the social security, and you were almost legalized in Portugal.
Okay.
And as you understand, this cannot be like this. Portugal, I think this is a key thing for everyone to understand. Portugal, as any other country, will need immigrants.
Yes.
For some types of jobs, some types of stuff, and so on and so on and so on. what is the question? That immigration should be controlled, and it was not.
Mm-hmm.
So, some of the bills that have been approved by this government, center-right, it's not extreme right, neither extreme left,
Mm-hmm.
neither left, it's center-right
Mm-hmm.
government, is to defend the immigrants, although it seems different.
Mm-hmm.
But it is to address mainly those D1s, D2s, D7s, D8s.
Mm-hmm.
The golden visa, it's a different product. It has always been a different type of visa, because it's like a contract that you have with the government where you put some amount of cash that invests in the Portuguese economy, so you are being different. So you have also different, let's say, characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that the government is going to make that differentiation in the nationality process.
Okay.
What I think is that they will continue to consider the golden visa as it is right now,
Mhm.
so a different program, because you put at least 500K or you do a donation for
250.
charity or whatever.
Mhm.
And so this is not a normal one. It's not someone that comes to work.
Yes.
What they are going to do, they are going to tighten the rules for the residency normal. So before you came as a tourist and you could change that touristic visa into a working visa,
Mhm.
now that's not possible anymore.
Okay.
You have to do everything before you come, and you have to have a stamp on your passport allowing you to come to Portugal with a specific labor contract or with some specific company that is yours or something like that.
Mhm.
So you are not allowed to come here just by guessing I'm going to find out that this is going to be the door to entry to Europe. It can't be more like that.
I see.
It was the easiest country to achieve
Mhm.
residency. It's not possible anymore.
So let's assume that from my understanding, let's say if with this podcast and even also with our meetings that while I was here, so the matter, let's say after obtaining the residency and golden visa, of course, for 5 years,
Mhm.
and then nowadays, as per the current law, let's say you will be eligible to apply for the citizenship, and eligible is not like it is granted. You're going to be
Correct.
eligible after, of course, passing the language test and staying minimum 7 days per year.
Plus, there is another thing that
Mhm.
the people don't know. You have to maintain the investment until
Absolutely.
you make the
Until you apply
step.
for
Yes.
for the
And you have to have the clean criminal record. That's
Yes.
also important, because it's something that people tend to forget a bit, but these requirements should be met, otherwise
Absolutely.
it's not.
Thanks for highlighting that. So let's assume that when the citizenship law will be changed, and then let's assume that it is going to be for 10 years of maintaining the residency. After getting the golden visa, let's say for 5 years, am I eligible to apply for a permanent residency, let's
Yes.
say, and then to wait for 5 years and then to apply? Let's say that type of scenario, if the citizenship law will be changed for 10 years.
Okay, so assuming that it will be changed for 10 years, let's
Mhm.
assume that, but this is just an assumption between me and you. It's
Yes.
not what it's going to happen.
Exactly.
We don't know what
We
it's
don't
going
know.
to be approved.
Absolutely.
Because just a simple explanation, the bill was proposed by the government. The
Mhm.
government has 30% of the votes, 33% of the votes
Mhm.
at the parliament.
But not the majority so far.
Not the majority
Yes.
so far. It's a small majority. It's
Mhm.
a minority into the majority.
Yes.
So it's not a majority that they can approve the bill by themselves.
Mhm.
So they will have to have other supports in the parliament. Plus, this has to be discussed in the speciality. So the law has to be improved according to constitutional rights and so on.
Mhm.
And then after everything it's approved, it goes to the parliament, it's approved again, it has to go to the president of the republic, which can then request again to check the constitutionality of the law if there is something that resides in his mind that's not entirely correct. So
Mhm.
if we are in September, maybe we will have the bill passed either in September and subject to constitutional control, and then November, December, maybe it will be enforced.
Mhm.
What you are asking me is that in the meantime, if they approve this 10-year, would I will be eligible for the permanent residency after the 5 years?
Exactly.
Yes. According to what we know today, 15th of July 2025, there will be no change on the residence permit program.
Mhm.
So the residence permit continue the same, which means After 5 years, you are entitled to request your permanent residency.
Yeah, but of course, to apply for the permanent residency, you still need to pass the language test, and you still need to stay 7 days per year to apply, let's say, and then to be granted if the
maintain the investment.
If the authority is approved this situation.
Yes.
So another talk, let's say, of course related to the golden visa, but we have seen recently, especially this year in 2020, the year 2025, the citizenship laws in the European Union in general that really been tightened for let's say less immigrants, less refugees, as example. Even also the citizenship laws, we've seen it in some countries that closing some options, let's say, for residency programs. We've seen in Spain, as example, the golden visa has been stopped. We have seen something that it was a quite surprise, if I may to say, at least to me, that the citizenship by investment program in Malta has been, with a court decision, has been closed for now. We're not sure what
with an European court decision.
Yeah, exactly. So European court decision. That's so true. So what do you see the golden visa, let's say, industry in the European Union after closing the Maltese program and then the Spanish?
Again, we are not talking about in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very specific scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with other type of things. It was a situation. I'm going to address Spain first and then Malta so that you can understand my idea. I can be wrong, but this is my idea, being in the industry for so many years, talking with so many clients.
25 years.
Yeah, at least. Not in the immigration, but as a lawyer, yes, in immigration since 2012, 2013. So in Spain, the reality is different. Spain, it's a country that has, since the beginning, historically, some rains inside, so it is not a normal situation like Portugal or any other country. And so it was pushing from the population in Spain that led to the closing of the program. Okay. It was not something else. It was a political situation. It was an internal political decision. Okay, from Spain. In Malta, what happened was something different. European Union does not want the selling of passports. And what was happening in Malta, according to the European Union, and I'm not going to say here what is my opinion about that, but I'm just going to say that
the facts, what happens?
Factually, the nationality, it's a matter of sovereignty of each country and not from the European Court of Justice, unless we are under massification of nationalities, which was not the case. But then again, they were using the passport as a commodity. And the European Union does not want that. So what the European Union wants, and those are the golden visa programs, as you see in Italy, as you are going to see in Germany, as you see in Portugal, you see in Greece, are residency programs where the investor comes and puts money into the economy. Either it is into real estate, into an investment fund, or any other type of
creating
asset.
jobs. And
or creating jobs.
Yes.
It has to have an impact in the economy. When you are selling a passport, 1 million, 2 million, what is the impact in the economy? It's a microeconomy. Plus, it's something that can be seen as something that it's not transparent. I'm giving you a passport, you gave me 1 million. It's an objective criteria, right? Where did come your money from? How can I check that your money was put it into the economy? You can tell me that, the amounts received through this via are going to be used in schools, are going to be used here and there, but where are the evidences?
In at least with
it's not transparent.
Experience of 11 years in the immigration industry, as example, whether it is in Malta or in the other countries where they have citizenship by investment program, it is several relationships. It's like a circle in between. So the circle one comes from the individual with the authorized agent, and then they prepare the file. They make first the qualification, is the person is qualified or not. They have to do the KYC. They have some commitment to check if the person, especially with anti-money laundering, system and AML and all of this stories. And after all of this, it has to be submitted to the government for their approval. And then a due diligence will come into place, private companies where they will make security check on the person, and then to make sure that everything is in a place and there is no potential risk to the community, and even also to the access, let's say, if he will have
completely agree with you, Tony, and sorry for interrupting you, but let me ask you one thing. The money is clean, the money is fully controlled, there is no problem with that, everything is solved. But what is the impact in the European economy of that passport? And that's the question.
I love that, exactly. We can say that maybe this is the point of view of the European Union about that's selling passport, if we can call it selling passport. I call it investing in any way.
Yeah, but at some point, you are just selling passports without having a direct impact in the economy. Let's compare the Maltese one with the Portuguese one, because the ease of use. Okay, in the Portuguese one now, since 2023, when we were at the parliament discussing with the government and so on, and in the discussions we meant, okay, this has to have some impact in the economy. How impactful are the golden visa now in the Portuguese economy? 2 billion euros per year.
2 billion euros.
2 billion euros per year. 1.5 to 2 billion euros. I'm going to tell you that just in the Portuguese stock market, the investments have risen 600 million euros. Just in the hospitality sector, we are talking about 1 to 1.5 billion euros annually. So what we are talking about here is a effective impact in the economy, because when you invest in a fund, that fund has to invest at least 60% in Portugal.
Exactly.
So in Portuguese companies, and those companies are going not to depend from banks at the same way that they depended in the past, with management that it's more professionalized because it is done by an investment fund that wants to have appreciation in the future and wants to have some profit with the selling. So there are an effective economic impact that these investments have. Just for you to guess, if the golden visa ended now, the loss for the Portuguese economy was between 0.3 and 1.5% of the Portuguese GDP, which is a lot.
Okay. I really love that point of view and that type of discussion, let's say. So we can say, if coming back to the question about what the potential effect, let's say, could be for the golden visa in general from the European Union side, do you foresee any let's say impact could be coming, not internal decision, could be external decision?
No, I don't think that in 2023, when everything was changed, technically we were, let's say, there was an opinion by the European Union about the change of some regimes, due to the fact that in some European countries, houses and the control of the cash buying the houses was not the same, and it was spoken about a problem in the real estate market, a bubble of prices and so on and so on and so on. You have to understand that in Portugal that represented 0.6% of the total market and 1.6% of the total volume of the market in terms of cash. So we were not talking about the real thing. It was just the European Union that, to control the flux of cash that was entering Europe, it was better to do like this. Because when you go through an investment fund, the control is triple. You have the control of the lawyer, you have the control of the bank, and you have the control of the investment fund.
I see. Roy, after we talked about these two questions and like what is the impact, let's say, or what is really going on with the Portuguese golden visa, and then the citizenship law, the potential changes in the citizenship law in Portugal, and then we talked about the future for the golden visas, let's say, in the European Union, and then the difference, let's say, between a golden visa and citizenship in Malta, as example, with Spain, or even also Greece or Portugal and so on. I may allow me to highlight few points, because it's going to lead to my question. When the moment that you mentioned that the European Union Court that decide to the favor of closing the citizenship program in Malta, And when it was you mentioned that selling passport, it is like a type of selling passports, even could be by investment, but which is that, in my opinion, like a few highlights about selling passports in a way. It's not about I agree with the way,
With
but
the wording.
with the wording, but it seems that this is maybe the opinion, let's say, in the European Union as well. What do you see the impact if with the recent changes in the law of the Schengen agreement, especially for the countries where they have citizenship by investment programs,
Like the Caribbean.
like the Caribbean islands, the 5 Caribbean islands, after massive changes or potential changes from the Caribbean islands, they wanted to do one unit to standardize all the regulations of the 5 Caribbean islands. They are going to put some regulations where you need to stay in the country after obtaining the citizenship for 30 days. That's the draft, at least it was published. They have sent it to the European Union to see the feedback. They have also put it in the public. But it really stopped me the moment that you said that the European Union Court, let's say, decide in favor of closing the sovereign decision, if we can call it, in the Maltese program, because the idea of selling passport and the idea of maybe the source of income and so on. From your expertise, and then with immigration law for the last 10 years, what do you see the things? Where are we? Is it 50-50 chance? Is it 100% chance somewhere? Is it discussion, let's say, going on?
We have to see this immigration thing as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So I may return the question to you, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe you will have the answer within the words that you have used.
Okay.
If the European Union closed a program inside Europe that was, between commas, selling a passport, what do you think is going to happen to the other countries that European Union does not control how the passports are given? Because inside European Union, at least and at some point, there are some regulations that you can have, there are some things that you can put, some opinions that you can give, some considerations that you can speak with the country. You have access to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, you have access to the Prime Minister, you can force them to do something. Outside European Union, you don't know how the process is. Someone can tell to the European Union, oh, no, we control everything. And they know that they don't control what is going to happen. European Union is sovereign in the
Decision.
visas, the decision of the visas. So I think that either these Caribbean countries are very cooperative or with the European Union, if they address the question, because I don't know if they are going to address it or not. I think
they
so.
have been doing massive changes
Yes,
to satisfy
I know.
that.
Yeah, the problem is, as European Union does not have the control, and we want to have control in the immigration that it's entering now in Europe, for the sake of everyone that has already a passport, a residence permit, and lives here, okay, we have to control, because the Europe does not have space for everyone. You know, it's limited.
Of course.
When you receive someone in your country, they should have the same conditions as you have, at least very similar.
Yeah.
Okay, in terms of school for the kids, in terms of national health insurance, in terms of welfare, whatever. It's impossible when it is uncontrolled. Portugal is a small country. We don't have an economy that is booming and have money to all the sides. We don't have oil resources. We don't have high energy, so our economy is not too strong. So if we onboard a lot of immigrants, we will reach a point that it's not possible for us to maintain.
Out of control, if we can
Yes.
say. Allow me to say it from my point of view, because I promised everyone that following me to do a dedicated podcast to talk in academic way about the potential matters in the Schengen countries, and then even also with the European Union decision, what it could be the challenges, the difference between citizenship and residency programs and so on. But allow me just to give at least my opinion today with a few matters with that. Of course, the European Union, it is a sovereign decision. they are the one will allow anybody whether to enter visa free or not to enter visa free. It's totally acceptable, and this is the way. It is their own decision to decide who can come, who cannot come to these countries. Allow me to talk about it from the Caribbean islands point of view. Citizenship by investment program or industry, it's been the main source of income for so many countries.
40% of the GPD of some.
In some of the countries, even also some statements from the prime ministers have been mentioned 70%. 70% of your GDP, the current GDP, is coming from one source.
Do you think that is sustainable in the long term?
At all, and they are going to change it. They are having massive plans to change it and so on. And as you know that they have different parties, and then like each one will take a lead. So the current parties, they are really trying, and they see that the risk of depending on one source of income, let's say, not only if it is citizenship, if any type of income, it is risky. We've seen so many countries where their main source of income, as example, the petrol, oil and gas, and they are also deciding to switch to another source of income to do the variety of income in general for the GDP. From the Caribbean point of view, that because the matter of, let's say, the trust between two international partners, I mean the Caribbean islands and then the European Union. The trust, it comes effective in 2015, where the Schengen Agreement was signed by two, let's say, the 5 Caribbean islands, and even also the European Union, or the Schengen countries as example. That trust, let's say, comes out of the place or the process of the citizenship program, because the citizenship programs in general, that you have not only to provide documents, it's quite a lot compared to the golden visas at the moment. And they will do a security check on you with a third party. Mainly, it should be the due diligence companies. It has to be in accredited and approved from the international countries that they have a good relationship with. A part of this also, the decision has to be passed through some entities called GRCC, as example, where most of the international partners will be part of the decision, let's say, whether to get the approval of the application or not to get the approval of the application. So all of this process to grant the citizenship for someone, I'm not seeing any incident that happened during in the Schengen countries, let's say, from someone who has obtained a citizenship program. But at the end of the day, it could be potential risk. So this potential risk, I would say that, okay, instead of coming to me visa free, I would say a restriction of visa. You can apply and then you can enter it. But the Caribbean islands, again, trying to see that they can do everything possible, let's say, and they are doing everything possible to satisfy, let's say, that a relationship, trusted relationship between both of them. Let's assume that the question now, and it's a quite tricky question, but I love tricky questions.
Okay.
Let's assume that if the Caribbean islands, from your point of view, it's not about, from what we are hearing and what I met someone and then he decide, or they are talking about things and so on. From your point of view, if the Caribbean islands did everything to satisfy the European countries, let's say, do they still will have the Schengen access or not? And why? So we can have the answer and then we can have why.
Well, I don't see any reason if they cooperate, if they are a cooperative state in terms of taxation, CRS, communication, and all of the procedures for the issuance of the passports, which is something on their side and not on the European side, for them to be, let's say, banned from the Schengen area. Okay. But then again, there is something important that it's going to be done for sure by the European Union. Either we will know it or not, but they will make definitely a huge search, investigation, whatever, to understand if the things are really being done as they are being said that they are being done. Because one thing is to say, we are going to abide by the rules, we are going to write everything down, and so on, and so on, and so on. But at some point, how does European Union control that? Because at this stage, what is important to understand is that there are some nationalities that we don't want in Europe. We are at war with Ukraine, with Russia. So Russian people are going to be banned in terms of financial transactions and so on. I don't agree with this, because I think that it should be done in a different way, but I'm not a politician, I'm just a lawyer. So I think that everyone should have its own rights and be treated in a correct manner. And being treated in a correct manner, it's to be treated as they are, because there are good people in everywhere and bad people everywhere, and not everyone is okay. So what we have to understand now is the following. European Union will want to have good relationship with all the countries.
For sure.
The majority of the countries that we now have Schengen visas given to are countries that do not represent any harm for the European Union. So this is the basis of everything. If it represents an harm for the European Union, then sooner or later they will close it.
Great.
Don't forget one thing. The Caribbean countries were exploited by whom in the past? By the Brits.
Not only the Brits, you get also the French.
But essentially by the Brits.
Yeah.
Are the Brits in the European Union?
Okay. Well, no, I love it. I will let the people to it's a quite easy question to answer. Just coming back to something that you have mentioned, and some of the nationalities due to some political, let's say, issues, they are quite considered as a high risk to come to the European Union, if we can say, during to the war and all of these stories. But maybe the same person, let's say, if applied already, because the moment that this situation, the conflict that happened, all the Caribbean islands stopped accepting applications from certain countries because of the conflict and because to comply with the international partners. But also from the other side, that it is quite difficult to control it from my point of view. Why I'm saying so? Because you've had so many people, let's say, applied earlier, before, and then the citizenship has been granted not only in the Caribbean islands, it could be also in the other European countries. It could be also in the other immigration countries, the countries where they have immigration programs, such as Australia, Canada, as example. So these countries, or even also UK, in a way. So
UK has raised an e-visa to Europe. We now have an e-visa to go to the UK.
But the idea that it's ETA.
Yeah, but it's a visa. You have to pay. It's economic.
It is economic. You're right.
So even Portugal can do, Europe can do the same for the Caribbean. Okay, you have a passport. You need an ETA. You have to pay to come here. It could be a possibility. Yeah,
ETS has been talking about it in the European Union, but it's been postponing since 2018. The initial plan to be in 2027 as of today, that they will implement it in 2027. But the idea that there are always ways for people. If you want to do something wrong, you want to do it wrong, there will be ways. But the idea that have ever anybody done it, let's say, with wrong and wrong way, and by holding this type of passport, that what we call it from the Caribbean point of view, is it fair, or is it not fair from that perspective?
I don't think it's a question of being fair or not. It's the question of what are the rules that the European Union is going to impose.
Yes.
And this is not a question of fairness, of unfairness, because it's very difficult for you to be fair to everyone.
Absolutely.
Or being fair to one people, sometimes you are harming another one without even knowing it. So it's not easy. But let me just give you a glimpse of one thing. Some years ago, the biggest buyers of the Golden Visa program were the Chinese.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Europe does not have Schengen visa for Chinese. We don't have a Schengen visa.
Yeah.
They don't have. And they are the second largest economy. Why?
Okay.
You see, because whenever there is a layer that you cannot control or see, it's like a blind that you have, a blind shade that you have. It's always difficult for the European Union to grant that
to have a trust relationship, if we can call it, in a way, to get the visa free. So it was really nice talk, but I
Thank
wanted
you.
to end it up with something related to Portugal.
Okay.
Since you're a boutique law firm and then a family firm,
Family
which is I
office.
really love it, family office, and then a part of the specialty is the golden visa, and then what
It's
you
the tip of the iceberg.
exactly. That's why I said part of the specialty. So and with the experience, let's say with the other golden visas in the European Union, what do you see Portugal in the ranking, if we can say, and why?
Being Portuguese aside, so no nationality here. Now I'm someone with no nationality and just logical. Okay. If I had to choose between any of the visas in European Union, the Portuguese, it's the only one that does not require you to become a tax resident. So with a good strategy, you can live in Dubai, which is a country that we have removed from the blacklist now.
Yes.
Have an advantageous tax system and have a Portuguese residency without living here, the possibility of entering Europe and navigating through Europe, achieve the permanent residency, and some years after, if you want, achieve the passport without even being a tax resident here. So without harming the money that you can set aside as your retirement plan. So let me explain this for someone that lives in the UAE, that's not from the UAE, it's working there.
Expat.
And it knows that at some point in life they will have to leave. And they don't want to come back to the normal country where they lived in. So they have a plethora of choices. Okay. Portugal can give you a quiet life. You said it yourself, a good climate,
Amazing.
good food, low criminality, low cost of housing, good wealth care. We are one of the most sought after cities, and we have good beaches, plus our passport, if you want to achieve it after 10 years, will grant you access to you and your kids, and you have to plan this.
Yes.
Okay, to all the European states, and of course, European schools, European education, European healthcare, starting your companies here, always without the need of being a tax resident until you effectively live here for more than 183 days,
Yes.
and
Very
or
good.
have here your main house. So there is no other program, even if the law changes for the 10 years, which it's acceptable in terms of the minister had to do this, and we have to understand his ways because he has some information that we don't have.
Of course.
So assuming that it's going to be 10 years, what I think is that even in that situation, the Portuguese Golden Visa, it's the program that allows you to go in the path of residency through the nationality at the end with the lowest impact in your economical life, in your tax life. So I think it continues to be one of the most advantageous programs. Plus, you will always invest in funds. These funds are controlled by the Portuguese entity, which is called CMVM, which is equal to the Security Exchange Commission in the United States. You have asset managers, so it's more transparent investment than to invest in a real estate asset, which for the conservative investor it's better because it's something that he can grab, and the investment fund he cannot grab, it just sees on the bank account, and it's also risky. But then again, it's more controlled than the real estate, because you know, as I know, that sometimes those real estate businesses that have been made, it's not going to be easy to find out that prices again if the market has no visa. Okay,
I totally agree with you, and then allow me to add a few things, at least with my experience. I have been visiting Portugal since 2017. The moment that I came in, I fall in love in Lisbon. I've never been in any city other than Lisbon, and anytime that I come, I love to just walk and enjoy the best weather. Yesterday when I arrived, I was shocked
Why?
With the price of the taxi, if we can say.
10 euros.
So it was 15 minutes drive from the airport to the hotel, and it was just 10 euros. Where else, if you drive, or if you get a taxi, let's say, in all Europe, and technically in all Europe, that 15 minutes from the airport, because usually if you go from airport, the starting of the meter will be a little bit higher than the other places. Then it is just 10 euros.
Yeah.
Then if you go to the center of Lisbon, as example, and if you have a coffee, the coffee is €1.50. Where else it can be done? The safety, the positivity of the people, so many things. And then in the fact that with the people, with the investors who they were with me, and then throughout the years, the moment that they come in, they say, where this was hiding.
It's like a gem.
It's something that we would love to be more here. We would love to stay more. And then so many people, I'm a bit shocked in a way that, especially for the teenagers, if we talk, because I have talked to so many clients who they wanted, let's say, Plan B or retirement home. And then we talk about Portugal, and then I told them how I am amazed and happy and even satisfied being in Portugal by myself. And then the moment that they brought their families to Portugal, and especially teenagers, because why I'm specific with the teenagers, because always they prefer to stay with their circle or friends. They prefer to stay where they are and so on. If these teenagers they say that the moment they came in, they said, we need to be here. We don't need to go back, let's say, or we prefer to stay here. That it has a magic, not only, let's say, for the adults, even also for teenagers and kids as well.
That's true.
Yeah. So
Tony, let me just grab one thing that you have said about the Plan B, and everyone now is wondering, oh, they are going to change for the 10-year on the passport and so on, and it's a major turmoil in the communities and whatsoever. Maybe a question should be raised to everyone. If you are looking for a Plan B for tomorrow, or for 6 months or 1 year, short term, would it be a passport that it's only granted after 5 years, or it would be the residence permit? Because the time for achieving the residence permit, it's going to shorten. The government is going to impose new regulations to the institutes. We are going to have a new program, and the new dates for achieving the residence card are going to be shortened. So your Plan B, which is real with the card and not with the passport. The passport is something that you are going to achieve in a future. Let me give you the example of an American that now it's a bit worried about the situation because of the new administration. They're going to be there for 4 years. Even if you started your golden visa today and it maintained the 5 years, it was not the passport that was going to save you, because you don't need the passport to enter Portugal. You are visa free. So what was going to save you was the residence permit. This is something that the people don't think, but they should.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you, Roy. The talk can be till tomorrow, even.
Yeah.
With so many things that we have even also in common, and so many things we can also discuss it. And I love discussing matters in academic way with expert, reputable lawyer like you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the time. Thanks for the hospitality. Thanks for giving us the time, even also in your office in the podcast studio. That's really amazing. Thank you. Thanks for all the team with all the preparation. Everybody is surprised when yesterday, for example, we were with a client, and then you brought up the application to him, that it was submitted. That's amazing, and
thank you.
Everybody is surprised with the fast service. To be frank, with the best quality. So I appreciate it, and thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Shukran.
Thank you.
Thank you.